If you don't understand how money really works, you're already losing. Most people go through life earning, spending, and stressing about money without ever learning the simple rules that could make them financially free. That's why so many work for decades and retire with nothing to show for it. But here's the good news. In the next few minutes, you'll learn the foundation of financial literacy. You'll finally see how money flows, how to use it to your advantage, and the exact rules that separate the broke from the wealthy. Rule No. 1. Pay yourself first. Now, this might sound like a new age self-help cliche, but it's actually a brutal truth. Most people pay bills, rent, and expenses, then hope something is left over. They're essentially paying everyone else first, and whatever is left goes into savings or investments. And usually there's nothing left. The rich flip the script. They invest or save first, then live on what's left. This reframing might seem small, but it's the difference between living paycheck to paycheck and building wealth. When you prioritize saving, even if it's a small amount, you're forcing yourself to make future you a priority. You're planting seeds for later. So, where do you even begin? Well, let's look at the math. Let us say you're 20 years old and you decide to invest 10% of your net income into the stock market. Rule No. 2. Understand the power of compounding. Imagine you have two friends. One starts investing early, putting $50 a month into the stock market at age 18. The other doesn't start until age 30. Both invest until 65 and both earn an average annual return of 8%. Who do you think ends up with more money? It's not even close. Compounding allows the snowball to get bigger and bigger as it rolls down the hill. The earlier you start, the smaller the snowball, but also the more time it has to grow. Time is your greatest ally in the world of investing. So seize the power of compounding by starting early. Remember, it's not about the amount you invest at first. It's about consistency and letting time work its magic. Rule No. 3. Learn the difference between assets and liabilities. In the game of financial literacy, understanding the difference between assets and liabilities is crucial. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket. Investments, rental properties, stocks, even your skills and knowledge are all assets. They generate income, appreciate in value, or have the potential to do both. On the other hand, a liability is anything that takes money out of your pocket. Cars, credit card debt, vacations that drain your savings. These are all liabilities. They cost you money and often depreciate in value. The broke tend to accumulate more liabilities than assets because they focus on instant gratification over long-term gain. They buy things they want rather than things that make them money. On the other hand, the wealthy do the opposite. They recognize that true wealth is generated through assets. So they acquire assets that bring in income, appreciate in value, or have the potential for growth. For example, a rental property not only generates monthly rental income, but also appreciates in value over time. This means that in addition to receiving a steady stream of cash flow, the property itself becomes more valuable, building equity for the owner. Similarly, investing in stocks allows you to own a small piece of a company and benefit from its growth. As the company succeeds and expands, the value of your stock increases, generating capital gains. The key to building wealth lies in having more assets than liabilities. It's a simple concept, but one that most people overlook in their pursuit of a lavish lifestyle. However, the path to true wealth is paved with smart choices. Focus on acquiring assets that generate income, appreciate in value, or have the potential for growth. By doing so, you'll set yourself on a path towards financial freedom and success. Rule No. 4. Avoid bad debt. Debt has a powerful ability to shape your financial destiny. Understanding the difference between good and bad debt is crucial to achieving financial success. Bad debt refers to borrowing money for purchases that do not generate income or increase in value. Examples include high-interest credit card debt, payday loans, and personal loans used for non-productive purposes. On the other hand, good debt involves borrowing money to acquire assets that generate income or appreciate in value. A prime example is a mortgage on a rental property. To truly become wealthy, you need to steer clear of bad debt. It acts like a financial black hole, sucking away your hard-earned money and keeping you trapped in a cycle of debt. Let's illustrate this with an example. Imagine you borrow $10,000 on a credit card to buy a new car. Assuming an interest rate of 20%, you'll end up paying $12,400 by the time you pay off the loan. In essence, you paid $2,400 just in interest expense. Now consider if you had used that $10,000 to invest in a rental property that generates a 10 return on investment. Instead of owing $12,400, you would have made an additional $1,000. The key to avoiding bad debt lies in recognizing the warning signs and making conscious choices. Educate yourself about personal finance, resist the temptation of high-interest loans, and focus on building wealth through smart financial decisions. Rule No. 5. Think long-term. We live in a society that glorifies instant gratification. The broke thrive on quick fixes and fast money, chasing dreams of overnight success. This mindset, however, robs them of their financial freedom. Building true wealth is a marathon, not a sprint. It's about making consistent, informed decisions over a long period of time. The wealthy understand this. They build their wealth steadily and patiently, allowing the power of compounding to work its magic. They focus on making smart investments, building strong businesses, and acquiring assets that appreciate in value over the long term. While the broke chase get-rich-quick schemes and risky ventures, often falling victim to scams and high-risk investments. True wealth creation requires discipline, patience, and a long-term perspective. It's about making small, consistent improvements over time. By focusing on the long term, you can navigate market fluctuations, ride out economic downturns, and position yourself for sustained success. It's not always easy. There will be times when the market drops, investments underperform, and the path to financial freedom seems uncertain. But it's during these moments that the long-term perspective becomes invaluable. By staying focused on your long-term goals and resisting the urge to chase short-term gains, you can pave the way to lasting financial success. So remember, building true wealth is a journey, not a destination. Embrace the power of long-term thinking, stay disciplined and patient, and let compounding interest work its magic. The results may not be immediate, but over time, you'll reap the rewards of your efforts and secure a future filled with financial freedom. Now that you understand the rules, it's time for action. Your assignment, starting today, follow these 5 steps. First, open an account for savings and investments separate from your spending accounts. Second, commit to putting anything into it every time you earn. Third, track your expenses for 30 days and cut one unnecessary habit. That's money you can redirect to building wealth. Fourth, automate your finances. Set up a system where money is automatically taken from your paycheck and placed into investments. Fifth, educate yourself. Read books, listen to podcasts, and follow accounts that teach about money and investing. Commit to learning one new thing every week. If you complete these steps, you'll be ahead of 90% of people who never take control of their money. And tomorrow's video, I'll reveal how to invest $1,000 the smart way so it multiplies instead of disappears. See you then.